So this is our second lecture on transportation engineering. So basically in this class we'll discuss about master plan and role of the master plan and different elements of the master plan, and after that we'll discuss about different classification of the roads based on different characteristics. Okay, so first, master plan. So basically a master plan is a dynamic long-term planning document that provides a conceptual layout to guide future growth and development. Master planning is about making the connection between buildings, social settings, and their surrounding environment. And a master plan includes analysis, recommendation, and proposal for a site population, economy, housing, transportation, community facilities, and land use. Now here in the first line it is written as a master plan is a dynamic long-term planning. So basically this long-term planning means in general a master plan is considered for a 25 years plan. Okay, so basically whenever you are doing some work, suppose for a community development or some city development, basically in that case we will use master plan. Okay, so in that master plan we will make some plan for that area for a long period of 25 years, that we will assume that what will happen in that area after the 25 years. So we will take different consideration for this planning purpose. So this consideration is what is the social economical value of that area, where should be the buildings, okay, and where is the industrial position would be, like that, and their surrounding environment, if that make to be sustainable, in that case how we can make the environment more sustainable. So these are the some cases which we'll consider whenever considering the master plan. Okay, so a master plan includes analysis and recommendation proposal for sites, population, economy, housing, transportation, communities, facilities, and land use. So basically whatever these facilities are there or whatever characteristics are there, these all things have to be considered during the master planning. So it is based on public input, surveys, planning initiative, existing development, physical characteristics, and social and economic condition. So how we gonna make this planning? Because this planning has to be fulfilled up to 25 hours years. So in that case we will make some surveys to find out what are the input, what are the general characteristics of that area, and how that some land use pattern change. Land use pattern change means suppose introduction of some development activities will impact that area. So that a master planner or a planner should consider all these aspects whenever he is designing any master plan. Now role of master planning. So the role of master planning, first one is develop a phasing and implementation schedule and identify priorities for action. Now development of phasing and implementation schedule means you have to make some schedule so that all the works can be done systematically, and you have to prioritize your work, that is which work should be done first. Suppose you want to make some building over there, so before making any building, first you need to make that area accessible. So unless it is accessible, in that case you cannot transport the different construction materials to that area. So likewise you have to schedule and identify priorities, then act as a framework for regeneration and attract private sector investments. So like in the previous class we have discussed about the different PPP model, that is public private models for the transportation sector. Likewise in different sector also you have to attract some private investment, conceptualize and shape the three-dimensional urban environment, Urban environment means that how that urban area should be developed, what should be the different characteristics of that urban area, and what should be the different elements in that area. Then define public, semi-private and private spaces and public amenities. So in the master planning, suppose for an area you need to designate some areas, that this area is defined for these activities, this area, that area is defined for that type of activity. Okay, so these are all included in the planning operation. That determine the mix of use and their physical relationship. Suppose you want to mix some activities, in that case it should be there that this activity is related to that activity. In that way you can mix some activities. Then engage the local community and act as builder of consensus. So if there are any local communities there, in that case you have to engage the people also to make the master plan a successful one. Then physical and spatial elements elements of the master plan. Now the master plan should include elements such as meshing, high densities, orientation, grid and blocks, transportation system and open spaces. So each and everything should be included there. Okay, now the master plan should also cover some or all of the following elements. So these are some elements which the master plan should include. So first one is image, neighborhood, character and heritage. Suppose you want to develop a heritage place or a place of some heritage value. Okay, so in that case, suppose you need to make that area some more advanced. So in that case you always have to look after the heritage value of that area, and you have to develop that area so that the value of the heritage or heritage site is not be affected. Okay, so in that case how you have to develop, you have to develop in such a way that the value of the heritage sector is enhanced. Okay, now the plan should show the integration of contextual features, local surrounding topography, water and distinctive landscape and heritage feature should be incorporated in the design of the plane wherever it is possible. Then various uses including houses and commercial areas. Then you have to designate some places where that housing facility should be there and where the commercial areas would be there. Now you know in that housing areas should be apart from the commercial areas. Why? Because in the commercial areas there will be some activities, some of the activities may be for the 24 hours in a day or something like that. Some factory should be there. So in that case, if it is surrounded by a housing area or residential area, then it will cause a discomfort to the local users. Okay, so in that case you have to think about this, that how our housing area should be separated from the commercial areas. Moreover, in the commercial areas what will happen, the land value should be huge. Okay, and that pollution level would be also more. So in that case it is very much important to separate different activities. Now the plan should show the location of various types of uses, densities, yields and lot sizes. When developing housing, a variety of housing types, size and tenures must be considered. So suppose in the housing area, suppose there are different type of buildings. Okay, 2 BHK building, 3 BHK building, 4 BHK building. So you have to designate some separate area within that residential area so that it is very much systematic and it would also good look. Okay, so in this context the plan should also ensure appropriate housing density and diversity. The master plan should also be flexible enough to allow for change over time in housing diversity as communities mature. So as the master plan is for 25 years plan, so in that case sometimes what will happen, whatever you have think about your future, that future may be more complicated. So in that case you always have to make your plan as flexible as it can be, so that if you want to change anything, you can incorporate the changes so that your planning or your development of area is swift. Okay. Now, open space and public realm. So in any areas there must be some open places. Okay, jurisdiction around the world will require different open space prescriptions. Plan should show the location of open space, including function, size and scale. However, both qualitative and quantitative measures, as well as the ratio of active and passive uses, should be taken into account in the design and layout. Then biodiversity. The plan should show the location of significant biodiversity values, as well as whether and how these are to be incorporated into the development of the site. Biodiversity and environmental factors should also be planned for at the beginning of the regeneration projects in order to protect, enhance, manage, and strike a balance between development use and flora and fauna sustainability. So basically that biodiversity is always necessary in the urban area. So in the urban area there are different type of industry would be there. Okay, there are uses of vehicles would be more. Okay, so in that case what will happen, uh, more uh, air pollutions or other pollutions would be more. So in that case, suppose in a urban area you incorporated some of the vegetation, in that case that vegetation will absorbs all the harmful gases like carbon dioxide and other things, and that will make your area more cleaner and sustainable. Then integrated water management and utilities. The plan's design should be based on the site waterways, making careful decision to preserve the wetlands and catchment areas. At the same time, there is need to protect the waterfront from being fully privatized and to preserve the public use of the waterways. So it is very much necessary you preserve whatever waterways are there. Okay, so if you are not preserving this, then what will happen? Then water pollution will be rampant and it will ultimately deteriorate your way of living for that place. Now considerations need to be given to the existing and new waterways and catchments, as well as to utility infrastructure in the design of the site. This will help to ensure the supply of water, electricity, gas, sewage, and telecommunication infrastructure to all site lots. Then transport. The plan should show the hierarchy of the street, pedestrian and cycle paths, and public transport and freight routes. So there should be, suppose one lane is there, so there should be different lane division based on the different hierarchy of the vehicle. Suppose public transportation is there, in that case you always need to encourage to use the public transportation. So if to encourage the user to use the public transportation, you can make the public transportation route more exclusive by allowing some separate route or separate lane for the public transportation, and that public transportation route should only be used by the public transportation mode, and it should be very much exclusive. Okay, it should also outline how arterial roads, connector streets and local access streets will be designed to cater to multiple transport modes, land use and trees. Priority should be given to public transport, and walking and cycling should be encouraged through the layout of paths. Now coming to the highway classification. So highways are classified depending on various characteristics as I discussed before. So first one is depending on weather. So there may be all weather roads and there may be fair weather roads. So what are the all weather roads? So all weather roads are basically the roads which are accessible throughout the weather. irrespective of different adverse weather conditions. Okay, and fair weather routes in the maximum time they are accessible, but in some time, suppose some flood occurs, or sometimes in different weather conditions they are inaccessible. Okay, then depending on the type of carriageway means that the blacktop portion over the road. Okay, so it may be two types: paved roads and unpaved roads. Paved road means if they are provided with a hard pavement course. Okay, and unpaved roads if they are not provided with a hard pavement course. So unpaved roads, the example of unpaved road is earthen roads. Okay, then depending upon the pavement surfacing, that what type of surfacing is there, it may be bitumen. Okay, it may be your cement concrete, like that. So first one is surface roads. It may be bituminous or concrete surfacing, and unsurfaced road. They are not provided with any type of surfacing. In some of the roads, what happens? There is only waterbound macadam is there. Waterbound macadam means suppose some stony aggregate is only over there. No surfacing work is done. So they are called unsurfaced road. Then based on the traffic volume means the number of vehicles crossing a particular point or particular section on a highway. So in simple word, traffic volume is the number of traffic in an hour over a particular road. Okay, so we'll discuss this traffic volume in a more detailed way in the later sections. So based on the traffic volume, it is divided as heavy, medium and light. Then based on location and function, so there are primary, secondary and tertiary division. So in the primary division there are national highways and state highways. Secondary is major district road, and tertiary is other district roads and village road. So basically if you consider about the hierarchy, this is basically division based on the hierarchy of the road. So national highway is of the primary importance, and the state highways is basically connected to the national highways. Okay, so with the state from the national highways, different important locations, suppose some industrial locations or some strategic location. Okay, or two capitals of two states, they are connected with national highways. Now the important locations, different important location within a state is connected with the national highway with the help of state highways. Basically state highways connect all the other important locations within a state to the national highways. Then secondary is major district roads. So major district roads is a main road in a district which connect different location or different important locations. Suppose some industrial area which is not connected with the state highway directly, they are connected with the major district roads, and ultimately major district road is connected to the state highway. Then other district roads, they are connected to the major district road and make some other places like some villages or some marketplaces, they are connected with the major district road. And village road, they are the particular road of the village which are connected to the other district roads. So basically these are the hierarchy. So in the lower most portion, first one is village road. So from the village road they are connected with the other district roads, and other district roads is connected to the major district road. Major district road is connected to the state highway, and state highway is connected with the national highway. So basically this is the hierarchy. Then another part is expressway. So some of the basic properties of the express highway. Express highway is basically one type of national highway, or it may be state highway. So basically this is a separate division. So here heavy traffic at high speed, here speed should be high. Then land width is 90 meter, full access control. Okay, connects major points of traffic generation. No slow moving traffic is allowed over there, and no loading, unloading, parking is allowed over there, so that you can enjoy a fully uninterrupted journey over the expressway. Then national highways. The Indian national highways have a total length of 70,548 kilometers. National Highway of India cover 2% of the total road networks and carry 40% of the total traffic, which is we have already discussed in the introductory sections. Then Golden Quadrilateral. This is the new project of the Indian government. So NH project, National Highway project, connects all four major cities of India. That is Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. And total network or total length of that network is 5,846 kilometers. That is completed already. That state highway, they are the arterial roads of a state connecting up with the national highways, district headquarters, and important cities within the state. So these things we have already discussed, that what is the other district road, what is major district road, each and everything. So after this section, I will suggest you to go through these notes, particularly these notes, and prepare some assignment. So these assignments are waterbound macadam, Nagpur road plan, Bombay road plan, and highway research board. Okay, so all these topics are very much important. So I suggest you to go to this link and this YouTube link, and you just go through this topic. Okay, so thank you.